From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
It's a big evening of evenings, Lalate, as we awaited the vote on the bipartisan, but did it happen? In this recording, we're going to go over your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. We'll go over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the fourth stimulus package. This is the recon, and it's a big, massive amount of checks coming to you. I'll go over all these incredible checks in this recording. Then we go to the bipartisan. It was supposed to start voting at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time Saturday morning, so did it get done today in the Senate or did it not? I have the latest breaking news at this taping late Saturday afternoon. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime. And then we cut to the big money. As one viewer hears my recording and goes from $32,000 to $50,000 in a matter of a few days. This is incredible sums of money that you can get as well. It's a big night with a lot of breaking news as Congress is trying to get to the finish line even on a Saturday. And they may in fact be working tomorrow as well. Within hours, we could be seeing the debut of the reconciliation. We could be seeing the vote. It's happening right now in a big evening, starting right now. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful Saturday evening. I'm with you direct from Santa Monica on a day in which Congress was in session voting on the bipartisan, but did they get it to the finish line? All the latest details in this recording. First, we're going to go to that monthly stimulus check. But first, how are you? Jump in the live chat and tell me how you are, how the weather is, and where you're tuning in from. It's beautiful. It's been paradise here in Santa Monica. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more checks from those Democrats. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the fourth stimulus recon. This is checks for all of you, and it's one of the single biggest payouts we've ever seen in the history of this country. Then we cut to the incredible details of the two-path process. Recon and bipartisan, with one passing within minutes, potentially, and then one going to the finish line within hours thereafter. I have all the breaking news in this big recording. Then we cut to fifth stimulus as well. And then in something I've never seen in the history of this channel, I was saying that I had several viewers getting over $32,000. And then one of them heard my message on air and I said, go back and get more. And he did. And he got $50,000. I'm going to show you how you get this big money as well. And this, folks, is Lalate, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto and then Sirloin at 8 o'clock, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel, part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a Purple Hawk member. Links at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Let's get into the breaking news starting right now with those monthly stimulus checks. Senate versus House, House versus Senate. Both monthly, but with different number of checks and different payouts. When you look at the payouts, they're dependent upon, of course, the number of checks. House, pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus check is the bill. Senate, July to December, less number of checks. When you look at the House payments, the House versus Senate, slightly different. House, $1,000 after the first month. Senate, monthly unknown, but word on the street is the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness, $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Well, the pandemic is not over. And since the pandemic's not over, the House would pay the full extent of what it says. Pandemic plus 1 year. We have Lambda, we have Delta, and now we have Delta Plus. That means that the House would pay pandemic plus 1 year. That would be more than 12 checks, which would be more than $13,000 on the House plan. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Well, who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. The Democrats represent. They represent that if you got a third, you get a fourth. Single individual, 75,000 or less. Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less. Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four. Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, VA, Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check would come the same amount to everyone, including adult dependents. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. And I continually forget that. I was on the beach 2 weeks ago, recording live, broadcasting live for you at the beach. And one of the viewers said, "Hey, Lalate, is that the check behind you?" I said, Where? Oh, it is. The viewer said, "Wave of the check." I said, "Really?" "Yeah, wave of the check." "Oh, come on, really? Okay. Hey, check, how are you? How you doing?" Didn't wave back. Rude check. Didn't wave back. The viewer said, "No, Lalate, it's not a rude check. It's just not a waivable check. I've watched your videos." Set me up. There you go. In this fourth stimulus recon, we get the incredible deliciousness, as Bernie calls it, one of the historic days for the American people. The $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal. All they have to do is call for a vote. The Democrats have met twice in the last week. The senators, Democrats, all 50 of them, agreeing upon the price tag. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. I'm going to go over those checks later in this video. Then we're going to cut to what happened on the Senate floor today. Did they get it done for the recon, for the bipartisan, or did they not? And what's going on with recon versus bipartisan? I have all the latest breaking news. It's a lot. It's a lot of breaking news on a Saturday because guess what? They're in session all day today, and we know a little bit more about what's happening tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. It's coming up later in this video. Then we got the fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime. But folks, let's get some money, and we start right now. Get that pen and paper ready because I'm going to get you some rent, some utilities, some mortgage assistance, and also homeowners assistance. You know, when I started recording videos about rent and these other items a few weeks ago, I said I can get you about $5,000 of rent, about 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000. I was wrong. I can't get you $5,000 for rent. I have now gotten viewers $27,000 for rent, like Elizabeth. Mark, $25,000. Nancy, $24,000. Richard, $22,000. And Nisi, $20,000. The list goes on and on. Lynn got money. Cecilia got money. Jennifer got $5,000. Randy got $6,000. Tiffany got $13,000. Pamela got $12,000. Carla got some money. Some of these viewers got multiple sums of money. Then I said for utilities, I can get you $300. I was wrong. I got viewers $7,000, like Nancy and Mark and Angela. Incredible sums of money. For SNAP, I said $5,000 to $6,000 a SNAP I can get you. Guess what? I got viewers $18,000. Louis, $10,000 for John, and $5,000 for Nancy. And then, if that was not enough, the heavens of stimulus opened up as 3 viewers got absolutely massive bonanzas. Here you go. Wow. Nancy, $32,000 from 3 items. Mark, $32,000 from 2 items. And Nisi, $23,000 from 3 items. As a first time you're hearing on Evenings LA, I had made a mistake in regards to Mark. You notice I just said Mark 2 items? Well, I thought Mark 1 was different than Mark 2. They're the same person. Here's what happened was, if you heard my recordings over the last week, I said to Mark, you got 2 items, Mark, 32,000. Go get the third. Bring it to 40,000. I said, come on already. What are you doing? Wait, what's going on? That's not enough, 32. Go get the SNAP. He heard my videos. Mark heard my videos. And in the last 7 days, he went back and he got $19,000 of SNAP, bringing his grand total to $50,000. Mark 2 is Mark 1. It's the same person. I got it confused. He just went back and got more money. Unbelievable. A viewer getting $50,000 from third stimulus coverage on this channel and bringing in $19,000 after he had 0 because I said go out and get it. And this is Lalate. This is what we do. In spring of last year, I launched this channel because people were not getting their EIDL loans and EIDL grants, but I got them $25 million of EIDL loans and grants, saving their businesses, saving their homes, and saving their employees' homes. No channel, no broadcaster anywhere in the United States, anywhere, did anything close to this. $25 million. In fall of 2020, second stimulus was not happening, and I did the same thing again. I got viewers $250,000 for rent, like Tyrone and his family afford out of Boston. $15,000 paid all the rent from December to February and March. But now we're doing it again. The only difference is you're getting numbers I never could believe were even possible. So get a pen and paper ready, because I'm going to get you big money right now. If you have never got to money, I'm glad you found this channel. Get a pen and paper right now, because I'm going to get you money starting right now. We're going to get some rent, some utilities, some mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. These are incredible sums of money. You're going to reach out to different places with different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next until one says yes. They have their own pots of money. And listen to the key words, because viewers say it helps them get approved. Are you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus, or Mitch's delicious lobster $12 ice cream sorbet. Ooh, that sounds horrible. They'll just hang up the phone. It says, sir, that does not sound appetizing. There you go. Congratulations to Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money, and congratulations to all the rest of you who got this money for rent. If you got rent and utilities, post in the live chat right now. Let's get to Snap. Louis, $18,000. John, $10,000 to $12,000. Mark, $19,000. Ling Ling got it for herself, her son and her mom. Gail got it as well. What is Snap? It is money for food. Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. Why would you not get it? How much does it pay? It pays a fortune. Where do you get it? From Department of Agriculture. A family of four out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year now. Wow, why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. We're killing it. You're killing it. We're only 11 minutes of this video, and we've gotten $27,000 for rent, $19,000 for SNAP, $9,000 for utilities, and we're just getting started. The next pile of the money is the refund check from your state due to overpayment and a computer error. This is ordered from the federal government. It's landing by direct deposit. How do you track it? Contact your state. Say, hi, state, how are you? It's me. I'm looking for those unemployment benefits I'm owed due to computer error. And when you track them, can you plug in the keyboard? It just sort of helps. And then finally, the refund check coming back from IRS for that 2020 tax return you filed for unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Cog got it, Michael got it. How much does it pay? It pays a lot. Where's the landing? Direct deposit. And guess what? It's a waivable check. Sorry, Mitch. Yeah, Mitch does not like anything waivable, so don't wave him at him either. The waivable checks average refund this week was $1,265. Direct deposit started July 14th. Direct mail checks July 16th. There's a new wave every week. Before we get more to that in a second, let me jump into this personal message. If you're on the live chat, and you have not posted your rent, your utilities, your SNAP, your internet, mortgage assistance that you gotten from this videos or my videos, do it right now. Because when you do it, you help other people. That's the spirit of this Purple Parrot community and Lalate. Me helping you, you helping others. 3 magical things happen when you post your success stories, whether it's $1 or $10 in the live chat. Number 1, you inspire other people to get the money, because then they realize, wait a second, I'm seeing all these people getting rent. I need my rent paid. Let me go get that rent. I need my utilities paid. I'm behind on the gas bill. Let's see. Oh my God, all these people getting utilities. Let me go get it. Number 2, it inspires people who got 1 item to get 3 items. People had watched Art Sullivan and Nisi get 3 items, and suddenly they realized, wait, I should get 3 items. Nancy went out and got 3, and then Mark had 2. And this is what I was talking about earlier in the video. Mark had 2, and I joked for a week facetiously saying, Mark, you only got 2, and you only got 32,000. Go get the third. He reported to me overnight that he had watched my message saying, go get the SNAP, and he did. And with that, I said, you can maybe get to 40,000. He didn't. He got to 50,000 by getting $19,000 for SNAP. Incredible. Now, how much of that unemployment benefits is coming back? Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. It'll reveal the taxes you paid and the tax return you filed 70% of the time. It'll also reveal stuff you never knew, Like when Ron Wyden was on Dancing with the Stars. Did they confuse him with Ron Portman? And can we top that? We can, as it'll also reveal most of the time the refund check coming back from IRS. And yes, we can top that as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Well, the exciting great details is that the recon and the roads and bridges are both passable. The recon is your money. And initially, before July 4th, Leader Schumer said we can get it done by July 4th. He thought it was passable. But unfortunately, it wasn't because it had roads and bridges in it at the time. So they had to take the roads and bridges out, shrink the recon, and that roads and bridges went into something called the bipartisan. And now both are passable. And in fact, both are going to pass within a matter of hours. What's happening here? Well, a conservative publication confirms my reporting. The higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, and put in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. But it's also vice versa. The recon also made the bipartisan passable. And now they're both passing within hours of each other. Now, what did they do? How did they do this? Well, once the Democratic progressives shrunk the recon, they built it back up out to a big number that they like. And that big number they like is $3.5 trillion. And they got the price tag they want. Congratulations. So the Progressive Caucus had met with the White House daily to get a big enough recon. They got it, $3.5 trillion. Congratulations. And then Representative Elon Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, Progressive, said we have to have a big enough recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon. Congratulations, $3.5 trillion. And then Representative Richie Torrey says we have to have a larger recon. You got it, Richie, $3.5 trillion. How did they achieve this? By protecting the recon. The president had told the progressives, protect my recon, because everything in the recon is progressive checks for the American people like you. In fact, we had that confirmation from Brian Schatz and Jolapal, both Democrats, both House members, and both progressives. Actually, Schatz is a senator. Sorry about that. So Schatz said the White House told him that the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon its priorities. It's incredible, great news. And if there's ever a week like this that shows where the president is really getting well aligned with the progressives, it's this one. The week started with the president of the United States saying, I'm not extending the eviction moratorium. I'm sorry, the courts may say I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm not extending the eviction moratorium. Goodbye. And the progressives did not sit back. The progressives embodied the purple power spirit, and they pushed Nancy, AOC, Jolapal, and Representative Bush from the 1st District of Missouri, St. Louis progressive. She didn't just push. She sat on Capitol Hill and said, Mr. President, you're wrong. I'm going to have a sit-in. I'm going to have a vigil on Capitol Hill every night until you realize you're wrong. And she pushed back, and she got it. We ended the week with the president completely reversing, saying, you know what, who cares about the courts? I'm going to extend the eviction moratorium. Away we go. And there you are. Now, what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? It's important to understand as we go into these final days to keep them separate. One of my favorite anchors on air, Andrew Ross Sorkin, said on Thursday morning on Broadcast News that the infrastructure $3.5 trillion is an interesting bill. No, that infrastructure is not $3.5 trillion. That's the recon. So it's important for you and I to keep them separated. Let's go over the terminology. Recon, your money, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag $3.5 trillion. People that quoted an article about a recon are someone like a Bernie or an AOC or a Nancy. Bipartisan, not your money. This is the roads and bridges. This is also called infrastructure. Price tag $1.5 trillion. People quoted an article about it are like a Kristen Sinema, Mitt Romney, or Ron Portman. Okay, it's pretty easy to keep track of these names. So who passes the recon? This is sort of an obvious thing, but I have to repeat it because we're close to the finish line. Not a single Republican will vote in favor of the recon. Who cares? Every Democrat, we have been told in the Senate, is passing the recon. All 50 of 50 with your vice president as the head of the Senate to vote as the tie-breaking vote and passing the recon. Who writes the recon? The recon is written by the House subcommittee members. The House subcommittee members are separate subjects based upon the Constitution. So, for example, the House Ways and Means subcommittee does unemployment and stimulus checks. When each of those subcommittees are done, they send their pages up to Chuck. So let's say we have 10 subcommittees that wrote 10 pages. He combines it 100 pages and puts a big ass on it for sugar-coated, salty, seductive, Schumerish, Laverne and Shirley. No, for Senate, and that's your recon bill. But until we have that recon bill, we don't have it. And so we don't know if a definitive answer as to everything that's in there. It's not Bill yet. And it's sort of like an upcoming pop singer. Doesn't want you to hear the album songs until it's released. Sort of like she doesn't want to have, Ron Wyden singing them to Nancy on the Senate floor. And there you go. When the recon is debuted, and it may get debuted as early as tonight, more about that later in this video, it's not law yet. We have an emoji for that. That's a critical issue. It's not law yet. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck called the vote on the recon. Well, guess what? We're calling the vote on the recon within hours. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Yeah, it's getting exciting. And that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats who are part of the 100+, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow. Can we top that? We can. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee, the same subcommittee I just discussed, recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Boy, can we top that? Yes. You got to keep them to their promise, Purple Power. They're promising you monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package, and they ride it. They also promise you a fifth stimulus check next year. But we can't top it. As Biden did it 7 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, the president went overseas to have a ceremonial signature. But days ago, he did the formal signature. What is it for? It's for a confusing, tongue-twisting, exhausting thing called the Global Minimum Corporate Tax Rate Minimum. Wow, that's exhausting. Why is this great news? Because it's not in the recon. It's just too confusing to be in the recon. Number one, easier to write the recon because this is not in there. Easier to call the vote on the recon because it's not in there. Easier to vote on the recon because it's not in there. And easier to pass the recon because this thing ain't in there. And can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video with all the breaking news, we've been waiting all day long to see if the Senate approved the bipartisan roads and bridges. I told you this morning at 9 a.m. when I was live on air on Mornings L8 that Afternoons L8 had been taped this morning while they were starting to vote, and that I still did not have the results, and that this would be the first video later in the day, taped on the later in the day. So do I have the results? I'll show you right after this commercial break. But first, something wonderful, the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you need help on rent, utilities, reach out to them. Where are they? They're on the community page. Open the description. Go down the description and find the link to the community page. It's news.la.com/community. They're volunteers that are separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They'll help you get that big money for rent and utilities. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues with this breaking news direct from Santa Monica. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA, direct from Santa Monica, with breaking news of whether the senators got the roads and bridges bipartisan infrastructure into a passage mode. Did it pass the Senate today or did it not? A lot of breaking, developing details across the board, but first subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth this week. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk. Purple Hawks are making fortunes on this channel. You should as well. The link's under the video where it says join here. But first, the president had promised during the campaign trail that he was going to raise your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. He did not deliver. Then when he was elected president during the transition papers, he said again he would do it. He did not. So what's going on? Within 30 days, you're going to start to see fifth stimulus. In September, the Democrat caucus, senators and House members, will be debuting fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up with something that's called basically SSI reform. And how does that work? It involves a series of steps. And step one will be that SSI reform that starts legislating in September. It will become law by about November with a vote. And then we hit your bank account by November with a benchmark hitting in December for next year. How does this work? Step one, they'll increase your benefits, remove the asset limits, then apply an inflationary benchmark, then remove the income exclusion and remove the barrage penalty. Let's go over all these steps one at a time. Who is this for? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. First step, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Next step, they'll apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. When will they apply the benchmark? In December. And where's inflation going? It's going to be transitory. This is a word from Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve. What does it mean? It means it's going to be a temporary spike. And when is that temporary spike? December. Yes, right when they apply the benefits. Then it's going to come back down. So how high is this temporary spike going to be? I've been saying it's about 5%. It may be even higher. Early before this show was Afternoons LA, the 3 p.m. show. I went into almost 10 minutes of where the economic data was this week and yesterday and the day before. I want to spend more time on tonight's broadcast about what happened with the voting today. So if you want to learn more about what happens with the inflationary spike by December, watch the video right before this. But let's do the analysis based upon 5%. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. And let's say it's 5%. Your benefits will step up another 5%. Then they'll remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law. It's going to go away and you'll be able to have more than $3,000 in hand. They're going to move the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win and you'll be able to do a pair dance. Rob and Sandy, get ready with your pair dances at your wedding because they'll no longer fear the marriage penalty. And if you suffered marriage penalty before, your benefits will be restored. Finally, fifth stimulus will have another stimulus check. And lastly, if you're in the live chat and you have not gotten a Purple Hawk next to your name, what are you doing? Consider becoming a Purple Hawk because guess what? This is what this channel's all about. When second stimulus became law, and it was a $600 stimulus check, I told viewers you need to understand and focus not on the $600 stimulus check, but on the 10, 15, 20,000 money right now, not 10 days now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now. I said I can get them $6,000 in December. I didn't. I got them $14,000. Viewers immediately realized that I focused them on the bigger sums of money in the stimulus packages, tens of thousands of dollars, not a $600 stimulus check from December. Then, when third stimulus pounced, then I immediately launched the Purple Hawks. I said, Hawks, you need to pounce and become a Purple Hawk. Get the big sums of money in third stimulus. You're going to get a $14 stimulus check. That's fine, but do not focus on it. Because if you focus on the $1,400 stimulus check, you're going to spend it, and then you're going to wonder, okay, where's my next check? Moreover, in third stimulus, there's tens of thousands of dollars in there. I told viewers I can get you $14,000 on the third stimulus. I got viewers, as you see, $32,000, $50,000. The numbers are being obtained by viewers daily. Hourly, viewers are telling me they're getting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Because as Purple Hawks, they realize to focus on the biggest payout in all these packages. And so consider becoming a member, because as a member, I deliver daily breakdown of all the big money in these stimulus packages for you. It's sent via the YouTube community page to you. Remember, the federal government is providing money in all these packages for you. They're not going to fix your car and they're not going to fix your roof, but they'll pay your rent, they'll pay your food, they'll pay your internet, they'll pay your medicine, they'll pay your vision, they'll pay your dental, they'll pay your lots of your bills. So if you had those bills paid for, you have extra money around to do the car and do the roof and the other things that have bills for them. And with that, let's cut to fourth stimulus, starting right now in the final 15 minutes of this video. And here is the breaking news. As of the time of this recording, which is just after about 1:40 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 2 hours before the show airs, the Senate has still not approved the bipartisan. So what does that mean for you? More about that in a second. Really surprising. I thought they were going to do it at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's start first with the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you in the fourth stimulus recon. Now, as you saw just a second ago, second stimulus, did I say third stimulus recon? I meant fourth stimulus recon. As we saw just a second ago, second stimulus gave viewers $14,000 for this channel. That was this big. Third stimulus was this big, and it gave viewers 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Fourth stimulus recon is $3.5 trillion of checks. Imagine the massive amount of checks that are coming to you in this fourth stimulus recon. The Democratic senators have met twice in the last week, confirming they're going to agree upon the recon at this $3.5 trillion price tag. All they have to do is call the vote. This is absolutely incredible. Everything in this recon is checks for you, checks of all types. And as you have learned as a Purple Hawk, if you can get $20,000 to $50,000 under third stimulus, imagine the tens of thousands of dollars you can get under fourth stimulus, which is a much bigger stimulus package with a lot more checks for you. It's going to be deliciousness. Here are some of the items that are in that fourth stimulus package. First, free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, immigration reform checks, greener farming checks, election checks, internet checks, then clean energy checks, finally checks for my seniors and checks for workers. Checks for workers, worker checks, independent contractors checks, union checks, then my seniors, Medicare expansion checks, vision checks, dental checks, hearing care checks, and lowering the eligibility checks. There you go. More about that recon in a second. Let's go over to the bipartisan, the roads and bridges. Yeah, they were at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time today, Saturday morning. The senators reconvened in the Senate floor to pass the roads and bridges. Now, they're still dealing with a few amendments, and as of the time of this recording, which, as I just told you, it's almost 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the afternoon, they have not still passed the infrastructure, the roads and bridges. Maybe by the time this video when you watch this video, which will be about 3 hours from now, they will have passed it. All accounts say they will pass the bipartisan Saturday. They are in session, they're staying in session to pass that roads and bridges provision. To which the next question is, when is ours? Immediately thereafter. Senator Schumer confirms, even the Republicans confirm, that as soon as the bipartisan is passed, they immediately start on the recon. Now, while Louis Schumer represented to us that they were going to do the recon first on the Senate side before the bipartisan, the fact that they did the bipartisan first instead of the recon makes much of nothing for us. It's not a big deal. The big deal is Nancy and the president. That's the big deal, and those are not changed. And here is where we are on that position. Let me go over all the voting steps, all the dates, everything you need to know first before we go over the substance. Nancy is still in the position of the following. You must, Nancy's in the House of Representatives, Chuck is in the Senate, you must send to the House the recon and the bipartisan together. If you only send Nancy the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, it's going in the wastebasket. It's a version of Mitch McConnell from 2020, where you send Mitch something and he says, I'm not calling for a vote. Guess what? Nancy's doing the same thing. Under the Constitution, she's the Speaker of the House. She determines when things are called for a vote. You can't undo her determination. It's her sole determination when things are called for a vote. And if she doesn't want to call for a vote, she won't call for a vote. Here's a personal message. The House is not in session at the moment. I'll explain that later in this video. And so if you only send her the roads and bridges, she's not even going to put them in session. She doesn't have to. She's going to wait till that recon lands with it. And then she's going to call the vote on the recon first. Next, the president also says the same thing. He says, do not give me in the White House on my desk just the roads and bridges. I must have the roads and bridges and the bipartisan together. Actually, I just said that wrong. I must have the recon and the bipartisan together. So let's go over their comments one at a time, and also Jalapal's comments about the subject as well. So first, the president reassures the American people he is not just signing the roads and bridges. He has to have the roads and bridges and the recon together. As to the bipartisan, if only the bipartisan comes to me, and that's the only one that comes to me, I'm not signing it. That's the president. it has to come in tandem with the recon. He also says, I'm not just signing the bipartisan and forgetting the recon. I propose a significant other piece of legislation, the recon, and both are equally important. All right, that's the president. Then Nancy. Nancy met with Bernie Sanders about a week ago and reassured Bernie she's not changing her position. What's interesting about Nancy, if you've been with me for over a year, Nancy talks sometimes different ways. And when she knows a quote is going to go viral, and that quote is going to be used over and over again, she uses very stern words. So that what happened today is that all major broadcast media were using this same quote everywhere because it's a very powerful quote. It's a very aggressive quote. It's a quote from Nancy a few days ago where she said, don't give me the roads and bridges first. It's going in the wastebasket. As I said, there won't be a bipartisan unless we have a recon bill first. Plain and simple. In fact, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be bipartisan unless we have the recon bill passed by the United States Senate as well. Then Jalapa also confirms that the House members are not even going to vote on the bipartisan if they don't have the recon as well. I did a poll of our members, and the overwhelming majority of our caucus says they're not going to vote for the bipartisan without the recon. All right, so that's all fine. What you need to know is that it doesn't make a lot of a big difference that the Senate is doing one before the other. The big difference is the House. Nancy is actually protecting the guard. You're all fine with that. And the president's protecting the situation. All right, so let's go over dates now. When would they get things done? This morning, we were under the presumption, or at least the representation from senators, that they were going to approve the roads and bridges early Saturday morning, if not early Saturday afternoon, East Coast time, which is more noontime, my time. And they had not done it. So what are the possibilities? Well, even at that time, I said, I think that they would not come back into the Senate and work on a Sunday. I think they would take the Sunday off because they were really exhausted and come back in on Monday. If they do not, at the time you watch this video, if they have still not passed the roads and bridges, then maybe they will work on Sunday to finish the roads and bridges. If they don't, then they'll do it on Monday and finish the roads and bridges. But the recon is definitely starting on Monday by all accounts of their representations, because as soon as the roads and bridges is done, immediately they start the recon. The only case that they wouldn't start the recon on Saturday is if it's late in the night and they're just, they're done. They'll say, okay, we're going to start Monday on the recon. And I don't think they're going to work on Sunday. What are they going to do on the recon? They're going to do the votorama first. And the votorama is usually about 2 days. So the Senate will have a 2-day votorama. And then at that point, the Senate will have passed the recon. Then with the recon and the bipartisan both passed, they go over to Nancy's house, which could potentially be Wednesday this coming week. And then the House starts doing its changes to the recon, its changes to the bipartisan. And that could bring us to about the end of this week. And there you go. So here is what you need to know about people in session, not in session. First, as the Senate, we have something helping us on the Senate side, which is they have been in Senate session now for almost the longest duration, over a decade. It's been a very long period of time, many, many weeks. They've worked 3 Saturdays in a row. They're working 16-hour days. They're all complaining, Republicans, Democrats, saying they have no bodily energy left. They're over 80 years old, a lot of these people, and they're working 16-hour days. They have no more energy. 16-hour days, 6 days a week, they have no more energy to work. So that's going to help you because they may lose steam on trying to really battle on the recon. Number 2, Nancy's House is in recess, but as soon as she's ready to call it back in for a vote, she can, and within 24 hours, they'll be in session. And so that's much of a non-starter. That's very, very simple to understand. She's only going to call them into session, of course, if she has the recon. All right, so all that is very simple. Now let's turn to the issue of the substance, the recon bill, and this one's critical. The recon bill will have $3.5 trillion of checks for you. There's checks of all magnitude. And as I got you, $15,000 under second stimulus. As I got you, $20,000 to $50,000 under third stimulus. Under fourth stimulus, you're going to see potentially even bigger numbers because this is a bigger stimulus package with a lot of checks for all different walks of life. The only people who won't get checks are rich people. I mean, there's checks of all different walks of life in this, and that's what I'll be doing for you as soon as recon becomes law. But when recon is debuted as early as bill format as maybe later today, if not Sunday, if not Monday. It's important to understand the following emoji. Not law yet. Not law yet. If you see the recon bill and you don't like it, do not put your feet up and cross your hands and say, okay, thank you, goodbye. Don't do that, because that's not what Representative Bush did. She started the week with no eviction moratorium. The president saying, goodbye, I'm not going to take care of you. I'm not going to do anything. Courts won't hold it up. She pushed as a purple power voice in spirit. She pushed and said, no, you got to change your position, Mr. President. You're wrong. She pushed. She had nightly vigils seen on Capitol steps day in, day out, and got that eviction moratorium extended. And the president reverting his position, saying, who cares about the courts? Also this week, the student loan debt repayment freeze was put back in place. This is the repayment of student loan debt. It had been lifted, meaning that students were required to start paying back their student loan debt. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie, Chuck had been pushing the president for months to get this done. They never let up. They won. It's now been put back into freeze mode for months, which is setting up the which is setting up the student loan debt forgiveness issue for a few weeks from now when they're done with this stuff. This is why when you see the bill debut on the Senate side, it's not a law yet. More importantly, Senate Democrats and House Democrats will amend it. Why? Even though the legislation was written in subcommittees of the House by Democrats, other Democrats said that's just a few people. Those subcommittees is just a few people. I haven't had my opportunity to even put pen to paper or modify things or add or subtract. 50 Democratic senators, over 100 Democratic House members, they're ready to modify, and they will modify when it debuts in their chamber. First group of people to modify is the Senate. Second group to modify is the House. And then if they modify, it goes back to the Senate again. So we're going to see a very dramatic couple of days. There's going to be a lot of fireworks and a lot of big developing details. For now, $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the fourth stimulus recon. But could it get bigger? Could it get bolder? Everything is possible. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers are YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Join me next on Overnight's Crypto. Then Sirloin at 8 o'clock, early mornings LA tomorrow morning, and more. Stay informed and stay focused. It's going to be a big weekend. Stay with me tomorrow because they could potentially be back on the Senate floor. We don't know just yet. Also, consider becoming a member of Purple Hawk so you can get these big sums of money as well. I want you to get 10, 20, 30, 40,000. Have a beautiful Saturday evening and stay with LA.